Welcome everyone to Anime Aftershow, the shows where we do aftershows of some of your favorite a- animes. We're gonna be talking about uh Feeling Good PreCure episode 24. But before we begin, make sure you're liking, subbing, that downloading it on all the platforms and all that good stuff. And today, or this episode, I'm joined by Adam from Azen, number one pre-care channel.
Pronounce it however you want. And how's it?
So, so I feel like you have some very strong opinions about this episode because I feel like we really saw Kira kind of showing her OP-ness.
Oh, a tad bit.
I mean, she didn't do that much. Only like teleport. It's not like you've ever had like a rant about teleportation in the Precure franchise, right?
A little bit. When it came to not Hotchan, Hagutan from Haguto.
Well, I was kind of being sarcastic.
But yeah. Okay, sorry. I have to pick up on that.
Then
The teleportation the most OP teleportation was Hagutan from Haguto Precure, just bringing it to teleport the OG team.
but to be fair, in this, at least like they can't use it all the time, kind of thing.
But she basically just did everything on her own. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to realize about like Kira. It doesn't feel like she's fighting with the team. She's just going on her own.
Yeah,
Maybe
like just
this.
imagine if the rest of the team wasn't there, would they have? You think that she would have done fine? That's the biggest issue.
Yeah, I get like they're trying to show her like recklessness and kind of like emphasize that like she's.
They're not even really showing her as reckless. They're just showing that she's too power. They're just giving her more powers and basically now giving her the sky portal as though this were a bad superhero movie or something.
Yeah, but like, did you enjoy this episode?
Eh. For outside of the OPness, I did enjoy it just for the slice of life stuff.
Yeah, and I think it did explore some interesting like ideas and stuff, especially with the Biogen like experimentation. We get
Yeah,
to
that was the best part. That was the best
see
part of the episode. But
more of
which we
that.
can, yeah, I want to see more of that. That's the villain stuff I like to see. It's the Six Ranger stuff that I'm bothered by. The slice of life stuff is also good. Like even like just outside, like just the everyday stuff where with the one-off side character they got for this episode.
Yeah. I wouldn't say the Six Ranger stuff is bad, but it really relies on you actually really liking the Six Ranger. Like, if you don't like her character or like what they're doing, the stuff like this is really gonna turn you off.
Yeah,
But
it's not that I dislike again. It's not that I dislike Asmi. I just don't find her interesting as interesting as the original trio yet, and because she keeps gaining more powers and now everyone that shot of her just like of everyone just launching her in order to attack the monster of the week. It's like, uh, come on.
yeah, like while I'm trying to articulate thoughts, so yeah, the original trio is better than her, but like for a Six Ranger, I think I really like her.
Mm.
Like not my best, not my favorite Six Ranger. Not even my favorite like Six Preacher. Though I think it's unfair for me to give that assessment since I've only had one of a Six Preacher experience. So
Yeah, but even like from a just the general trope of the Six Ranger is done
yeah,
better.
like yeah, she's like no like Quantum Ranger, or my personal favorite, the Magna Defender.
Personal favorite Zane.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's in. He didn't overstay his welcome. He had an interesting dynamic with Astronema.
Yeah, I'm not my favorite, but I can see why. Definitely not terrible, but yeah, like if you don't find this like Six Ranger really interesting, a lot of these like Six Ranger kind of focused episodes really aren't gonna like do it for you, and they can feel like sometimes kind of filler-ish.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about a Six Ranger is that for your examples, those guys were also partially villainous or at least rivalous. So the idea of them being stronger than the original guys makes sense because they're supposed to be a force that you have to deal with. Since Asami is a pure good is a good, pure good guy. Her OPness is just like devaluing the show if it continues like this.
So do you think it's better for like your Six Ranger to kind of start out a villainous or like as an anti-hero?
No, no, not at all. The, it's how you present. It's not about whether or not they're good or bad. It's about how if they're if you want a powerful enemy, then one reason you can do that is having them being villainous in order to have them give a good challenge for the good guys, or just or not highlight their OPness so much, which is another thing I've seen in like Kirara Major recently. In that show, it also has a power. They also have technically a Six Ranger stronger than the rest of the cast, but they don't highlight it as much.
Yeah, but so do you think they're gonna end up fixing it? I feel like at this point it's kind of too late, unless like something major happens in the next couple episodes.
Like I said, the best thing they could do now is nerf her. Like
Yeah,
give an injury or something that depowers her.
and I feel like they have some pieces to do that with her like fading away. At certain times, they could like really utilize that.
Or of course, there's the new enemy type that could actually give them a challenge if they do it right.
So I kind of want to talk about the enemy type. Like, what happened to the bird after?
It turned into
Well,
the
I mean, let's not space out. They defeated the Byogen at the end, right?
and then the bird returned.
Oh,
Did you see that?
huh?
Or didn't you see the bird return, or did your
No,
Crunchyroll blow it up?
I think I just spaced out. Okay, so people who are watching and listening, so I don't know if it's okay. To preface this, I watch it on VOV and not Crunchyroll. Maybe by same people, but maybe that would have made a difference. So it didn't work on my desktop, so I had to like load it up on my PlayStation 4, and it worked there for some reason.
Hmm.
And I wasn't the only one having this problem. Like someone else mentioned in the comments saying the video wasn't loading either.
Hmm.
So
That's what these I would say like AT&T just doesn't really care about to make you a good video player, or Crunchyroll or whoever is in charge of it.
or or for HBO Max, you know. Oh my, that play.
I think they all use the same engine or something, or software of some sort.
I don't know that like player. First of all, it's not displayed on the page correctly. It looks all weird. Though that could be because I have like two ultra wide monitors. So
And I think it's just the player. It's I've tried to use those guys as well as like say a Funimation player, and they all like short out on
yeah.
me.
Uh, 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 I mean, say what you want about Netflix. I
It
actually like.
works.
Yeah, I like Netflix's player. Like it has, and like everything's easy to find. Like the subtitles, and it's easy to change like episodes because some players like I have to go back to the previous page to like a different episode. Like one example is like Disney Plus, like you know. But we're kind of getting off topic, So,
Yeah, but
so,
yeah, so you probably missed that. But the bird turned back, and which of course then adds the theory that maybe Batitamota is still around if we didn't see his original muskrat form return.
but so if his like rat form is bad, that means the rat scream Reno is kind of gone unless he gets zapped again or whatever.
Well, I'm saying that we didn't see the muskrat return, so
Oh, we didn't. Okay, I thought you said we did. Okay,
we did
okay,
not.
okay.
So if like yeah, so like this time the bee bird
Yeah,
returned, and
yeah.
yeah,
I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't play into uh the Bugin, the fighting being the bird, because they interacted with the bird before. And since he has like more of a personality, I feel like they could played more into that. I guess.
it doesn't really bother me. They didn't notice it was the same bird.
Yeah, I'm just saying
I
it.
mean, it's hard to how can you tell it's the same bird? It looks like it it has a awesome design, so you can't really associate
Yeah.
that with a
Oh,
baby
yeah.
bird.
Like I like really like that design. Man, it looks like a Digimon.
I think it just I'd say it kind of reminds me of like one of the final bosses of a PreCure series, and that's just awesome to me. Or actually, like reminds me of a fully evolved Pokemon of some sort, maybe even a legendary bird.
Yeah, but like the design of it looks look like really cool. Like I did enjoy a lot of the like action and like fighting in this episode.
Yeah, it was a good. This week's animator is a talented new animator, so he knew how to do the action well again.
So does Toei take chances on a lot of like new animators often or no?
Not too often. They kind of go with like the proven veterans, which I would do personally myself, but sometimes they do let the new guys do their stuff, and sometimes I think they should let other guys retire. Oh yeah.
I love having you here.
But yeah, this you could really like see some of the impact of the attack. Again, I love seeing it actual impact, and of course, like um, uh, as much as I don't want it to be too OP, I will admit Asumi had some great moves this week.
Yeah, like I said, I liked a lot the like action stuff they had in this episode. It's just it's like a couple episodes ago. I was like, okay, they just introduced it. Maybe she's a tiny bit OP. I don't see it, but now, yeah, I'm seeing it a lot now.
Yep.
Before I could kind of turn a blind eye, but I'm like, I hope they do something about this. But speaking of like Asma, I really like the theme of her like connecting to nature, like that scene where she kind of looks towards the wind or like the trees. And one thing I really like, so this is the first time we really get to see her bond with another adult besides like Nadoka's like parents and stuff. And even then, she didn't really bond as much as I felt like she
Yeah, she
bonded
actually
with her.
she bonded with a mere mortal who actually can speak can can speak for the trees. An arborist, the arborist lady.
Yes, so it was like an interesting connection and like mutual respect between those two. But how did you like this? I guess side character, filler character. I don't know if there's like a term for this kind of character.
Well, we could call her the arbor. She was the arborist. Have you even heard? I just like the fact that they actually introduced
Yeah,
the
I
top.
never heard of. I didn't know there was like a tree doctor.
No, yeah, but just Google it, and yep, arborist is a real occupation.
Yeah, so that.
So so on that note, I actually like that they brought in some good education for even like grown adults like us who haven't even heard of that, and of course just taught the basic lesson. Let you just sometimes have to let nature play out. Don't interfere. I like that. I like little lessons like that.
Yeah, so in the episode they mentioned like nature having like an SOS and stuff, kind of like semi talking about like the environment and pollution and kind of. So I'm liking though that they're
They're
not.
not shoving they're not doing the Captain Planet thing and making and just like having
Yeah.
a big pig faced dude who a big pig faced dude with big teeth being a bad guy and all that.
Yes, yeah, like they're not afraid to talk about this stuff, and it gives me hope because, with everything going on in the world, we've been kind of afraid if they're gonna like tone it down, but it doesn't seem like they're really toning it down. And if they are toning it down, it's probably that they were going to tone it down anyway. So
Yeah, I would say like the only thing that they might have changed, one possible thing they might have done for the current situation is like she at one point the arborist mentions not to touch the bird because it could transmit diseases. Eh, that's something they could have just have dubbed in later.
yeah, I'm actually like surprised that they even like mentioned that with what's going on. So I am.
Well, they said don't touch them because you kind of have to do that in this situation. Don't touch birds or bats. Bats are definitely you shouldn't touch right now.
I don't know. You might get a cool superpower.
Or you might get, or just saying. You do realize like bats are what they say is what started all this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah. I know, I know. I mean, I'm not like an expert about everything that's going on, but I do know bats, lab, a certain country.
Not saying again, we don't have much. I won't say anything just yet, but
Yeah,
that's just
yeah,
like it's best not to touch the animals right now. Is
yeah.
what I'm saying, unless it's your
Unless
dog or
it's
something.
dogs.
Yeah, of course you can touch your dogs all you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I like that aspect. I really like the slice of life aspects like that, which is with them just like talking with the arborist, learning more about nature, which kind of you need something like that for a show like this. And of course they're not hammering it in. They didn't like she just picked up a few bottles as we saw, and she didn't have to like and they didn't have to make a big speech about it or anything. Like certain other billionaires who try to shove it down our throats or something.
Say that again.
It's not they didn't shove the environmental message down our throats like as though they were Ted Turner or something.
But yeah, 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 yeah. For like the handling like the environmental like message, like there might be a better example, but I haven't quite seen a show that's done this good of a job like dealing with like an environmental message. Maybe a show out there exists and I just haven't seen it, but so far the show seems to be the best at like dealing with an environmental message.
Yeah, and not give us another Greta Thunberg or something,
What?
or not Greta Thunberging us or something.
Yeah. So this was like an okay episode for you then?
It balances out to be an okay episode. Just the Osmi stuff bothers me really. I I would say like actually it does go a little bit above average because again the new enemy type of the of the of the semi of the semi generals, let's say. Basically now they have this new enemy type which are just like just a little bit below the generals, kind of, you could say. So and Darius himself was pretty awesome just for finding that new technique. As I said, Darius had, as I said in the last review, I think Darius got to the best development just because I love that he comes off as lazy, but he's also just like probably the smartest villains on the show so far.
Oh
So
yeah.
brilliant but lazy. That's a good trope.
Oh yeah. I always like those villains, the brilliant and lazy ones, and the always the ones that are like really up to something that you never quite expect.
Yeah. Plus, he just looks. Plus, that one bit of him just like putting the mega parts in the bird is like, holy shit, that's intimidating.
Yeah. So are you still feeling good about this series, or do you think it's starting to decline?
It's if I would be lying if I said there wasn't a little downturn because of the Asami stuff, but I do think it's very fixable.
Okay.
I'll say that it's very fixable.
So is there anything else you want to like add before we talk about next week's or
Not too much.
next episode?
Not too much else. Next episode, I believe, was. Oh yeah, it's going to be a Pegaton episode.
Yeah, which I like Pegaton. He's one of my favorite mascots. I really like his like design. So
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good comedy episode, which I look forward to.
yeah, something up about Detective Penguin, Pentagon, Pega. Da. You know what I'm trying to say.
Hmm. The penguin detective from Super Paper Mario or something.
No, and because isn't because it looks to be kind of a detective like episode, or like they mentioned the word detective in the preview at least.
Yeah, maybe. I think they're just playing around with that one. Again, if they just have like a whole episode of Piggy Tom being a bit of a goober, that'll just be a lot of fun.
Well, do you not like detective episodes?
I like detective shows, but I wouldn't say that's a huge gimmick. Like sometimes all they're doing is parodying Detective Conan.
I mean, Detective Conan is kind of popular, so
You know, it's just like it just gets tired a little bit unless they actually do bring in Conan or something.
yeah. So, so you're hoping for a good comedy episode
Yeah.
next week? Yeah. All right. I hope we finally fix the Asami problem.
Well, for one thing, at least the Asumi looks like she's gonna be uh less focused on, so that at least helps. It's just I think the biggest problem was again that we had like basically 4 episodes in a row with Asumi.
Yeah, maybe if they were like paced out more,
Yeah, exactly.
but they're not quite paced out, and I feel like you could like easily pace those out.
Hmm.
You know, I get that they want to kind of go with a thing. Let's do an arc with Asami. You get to know all these people. I get that, but like I don't know. It's at least with this episode. I think it's finally getting a little tiring for me now.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite problem, like the Six Ranger from last season, where they didn't get enough focus. I would say, like I think that's what it is. Like last season, they noticed that they didn't do enough with their Six Ranger to actually sell her toy, so now they're kind of overcompensating with this one, possibly.
Yeah, I mean they gotta make a revenue, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
gotta sell those toys because even though we want a good like entertaining show, it's all at the end of the day, it's about selling the toys.
Yeah, I would say yeah. In that sense, I guess a little overexposure is better than no exposure, which was one of my biggest problems with Star Twinkle last season's Sixth Ranger. But yeah, it's still a problem, I would say.
Yeah, and hopefully we can fix it. But let's just hope for a like solid like comedy episode.
Yeah.
Penguin mascot. You can't really go wrong with that. Though
Hmm.
I'm sure Toei, if they try, could find a way.
They've done Penguins okay in the past.
But anything else you want to add? Say to the lovely people.
No, nothing much else.
That's pretty much all I want to say. So this has been Healing Good. Healing Good PreCure, episode 24. And we will see you guys next time, episode 25, Penguin Comedy. Make sure you check that out. Thank you for watching this after show. This after show was hosted by and created by me, Nanohero. You can follow me on Twitter at The Real Nanohero. Also, make sure to check out the links of our amazing co-hosts in the description below. If you like this episode, make sure to leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe. For all your listeners, make sure to subscribe, leave a rating, and download the episode. Also, make sure to check out other cool channels and brands in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next after show.